Hi, this is Melanie Hunter. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm here to talk about being gluten-free. Our family of 5 are all totally gluten-free and have been for about 5 years now. The reason that we started out on this journey was really because I was trying to figure out what was going on with our middle son, who was our youngest at the time, Maddox. So Maddox had blood in his stool when he was 6 weeks old, and the doctors suggested that he had a dairy allergy. So I took dairy out of my diet because I was breastfeeding him. And so he was completely dairy free. I was taking him to the chiropractor, which is shown to have benefits against ear infections, and eating really well and doing all these things that I thought were right. And yet he just kept getting reoccurring ear infections. And I was so frustrated. So I was trying everything that I could. I took him to an allergist who did a blood prick test, and even though I watched his skin react, the allergist said that he had no food allergies at all and that he could eat anything. And I just didn't trust that. It just didn't feel right. It just didn't resonate for me. So I found another doctor who did a different form of allergy testing, and it showed that he had an allergy to cow's milk, which we were currently not eating, but also to gluten. And so that was the first time that I really started to look into a gluten-free diet. And at the time I thought, this is going to be so hard. And so I understand so many times people, ask me about being gluten-free, and it seems so daunting. However, now when I can look back and see that we have been a gluten-free family for all these years, it has become second nature to us, so it has been so easy. The interesting thing about Maddox is after we removed gluten from his diet, he did not have a single ear infection for 6 months. I think he had one more after that, and that was it. The infections were gone. And I had wished that I had known this earlier because it would have saved him from antibiotics, but it is what it is. I didn't know at the time. So simply put, who should be on a gluten-free diet? I would argue everyone. Gluten is inflammatory. There's lots of science that I could go into of why I don't believe that we should be eating gluten, but I will save you on this one. But it can benefit a lot of different people. Anyone who has inflammation, which is at the foundation of every disease, could benefit from going gluten-free. And so what does it mean to be gluten-free? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're grain-free. There are lots of gluten-free grains. Naturally gluten-free grains are rice, millet, quinoa, amaranth, buckwheat. So those are the ones that you can eat without thinking too much about. Everything else gets a little hairy. So, the trickiest part about being gluten-free is the sauces or the places that they add gluten. Gluten is found in hair care products and in body washes and body lotions. So really reading every single label is really key. But I'm here today to kind of share some of our favorite gluten-free products. My kids are not deprived. We eat basically cow's milk free and definitely gluten-free, and they are very much normal, healthy boys who get all sorts of stuff. But just a couple things that we love. We love this bread. This is probably our favorite bread, Canyon Bakehouse. We also have cooked sourdough, which they also love, so I will alternate those. Annie's makes a gluten-free, organic, vegan macaroni and cheese. My kids go crazy over this, and I love, love, love that it's organic. Thank you so much, Annie's. Pamela's pancake mix, they love this as well, gluten and dairy free. I understand that, if you're going from a traditional eating with gluten, that some of these things might taste a little bit different. So one way with kids is to just start slowly. So when you run out of pancake mix, instead of buying the same one that you would normally buy, buy this one next time and see how it goes. Same thing. So crackers, Back to Nature makes really great gluten-free crackers. Mary's Gone Crackers makes a really good organic one. I just don't have it at the moment to show you. These are gluten-free, organic Nature's Path waffles. Boys love these. They come in all different flavors. Cereal, there's a ton of cereals available these days. That's a good thing. It's not going gluten-free, 10, 20, 30, certainly years ago, I'm sure it was quite tricky. Today, there's an abundance of options really anywhere that you go, and definitely in the grocery store. So I would say with kids, start slowly. If you have a baby, just don't feed them gluten. It's so interesting that when you stop eating gluten, after being gluten-free for maybe like 1 year, I went to a Cubs game because we were leaving Chicago, and I decided I was gonna have a hot dog with a hot dog bun. and I took one bite of it, and the hot dog bun literally felt like paste in my mouth. I could not eat it. And I was so shocked how my taste buds have changed. So taste buds are constantly changing. So just because your kid or you may reject something the very first time you have it, don't give up. Keep trying. Gluten has so many different symptoms, if you will. You could be gluten intolerant and have the obvious symptoms, which would be GI upset. Maddox, his was in the form of ear infections. My oldest Brooks, he would get TMI, but he would get anal itching, which is a sign of allergies, food allergies often. My husband, his story is kind of funny. He went on the clean program for, I think it was 3 weeks, and you're allowed to eat certain foods, not other foods, and it was a gluten-free diet. And so after he finished his 3-week program, he decided to just go all out, and he ate gluten all day long. And he was such a bear. I mean, that is put really nicely in PC. I would use different language if you're sitting in my kitchen with me. But anyway, his mood was just off the charts. He was just a complete jerk, and he felt tired and he felt terrible. And so he was like, whoa, I think this really is the gluten. And so he, has toyed with it a little bit here and there. He'll have gluten on occasion when he travels. It's not very frequently, and he can feel the difference. So, I think that for anyone who, who's willing to give it up, take gluten out of your diet completely, though. You really need to take it all out, and do this for 3 weeks. No gluten. And then if you want to test it back in, then try it. Take one day and eat a bunch of the old pretzels or bread or whatever else you want to eat, and see how you feel. I think really that's where the power is if we can tap into how we feel and pay attention to our intuition, then I think that it'll tell us, what foods we really should be eating. So all of you who are embarking on a gluten-free journey for you or your family, I would say offer yourself grace, go slowly and swap out products as you use them, and be patient. Kids may not like something the first time they eat it, but that doesn't mean that they won't grow to like it. And on the flip side, maybe they will. So don't tell yourself a story that they're not going to like it because it's different. But I think that this is a really easy to access diet. It's really the foundation for any special diet is starting with gluten-free. And I think that we could all benefit and feel a lot better. Thank you so much for your time. As always, if you have questions, please post them. I look forward to feedback, and I wish you much luck on your journey.